Smithville Board of Alderman meeting is now called to order. I've asked Ms. Wagner to lead the pledge. Please join us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Josh, can you start?
Sure. For Cynthia, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, Cynthia. Happy birthday to you.
We won't have a meeting before your birthday. After your birthday.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
What are your birthdays? 29 and a half.
29 and a half. Yes, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I missed the Super Bowl by just a few days.
All right. Well, we have to swear an officer, so. No, we're not shenanigans. Now it's serious business. Come on up. Is it going to be up here so we can read it?
I did not.
Oh, okay. You want to share my sheet with you?
You're just going to have to. Yeah.
All right. I, Brandon Taylor, solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States of America,
to support the Constitution of the United States of America,
to support the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
to support the Constitution of the State of Missouri,
and the provisions of the laws of the state affecting cities of the fourth class,
of all the laws of the state affecting cities of the fourth class,
and the ordinances of the City of Smithville,
and the ordinances of the City of Smithville,
and to demean myself faithfully
and to demean myself faithfully
as police officer for the City of Smithville, Missouri.
as police officer for the City of Smithville, Missouri.
Congratulations. Thanks, that's where you First item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Alderman Holbert.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. Alderman Atkins.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor of approving the consent agenda say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no.
Abstain.
Thank you. Motion carries. Alderman Chevalier abstained. He's not here. Committee reports. Alderman Server, planning and zoning.
Okay, we approved some changes to chapter 400 of the zoning ordinances. Those were due to state law changes. The only other thing we had was a report of, for 2019, we had 51 housing permits and 7 business permits. That was it.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the city administrator's report. Ms. Wagner, do you have anything to report?
I do have a few items, some included in the packet and some other updates. I'm going to provide you some update on snow removal over the course of the last several days. The Friday's event, ice event, started around 5:30 in the morning as a rain sleet mix. Began freezing to the roadways midday. Treatment started on the road, hill areas and intersections by mid-morning. By 6:15, all of the roads have been treated with a sand and salt mix, and about a quarter to a half inch of ice had accumulated on the main roads. They did begin blading and continued some through Saturday morning, clearing some of that. Through the course of Friday through today, we have distributed about 100 tons of salt and sand mix. On Friday into Saturday, 6 trucks were out that included all of our staff, and we were out for about 65 total staff hours. Additional snow fell on the 20th, which would have been yesterday, and they did remove some snow in some areas this morning as the weather started again. 6 trucks were all out at regular time to hit the slick spots and check areas. We do understand that there have been some questions, concerns about treatment. We have followed the policy as outlined in our snow removal policy. There are areas that don't melt as quickly as others. We recognize that there are concerns. In the past, in the future, Chuck, Alan and I have had kind of a conversation as follow-up to this storm event. We plan to provide some additional social media information as we prep to go out to give people information about what we will be doing. Really request that if people have concerns about their roads, that they call the street department at 532-2080 for those concerns, or to go to our website and use the report of concern format so that we can track those concerns and be able to actually respond to those. We had 5 reported concerns reported over the weekend through the course of the event, and 1 phone call. So we've tried to respond to all of those situations. One of the things that we want to be able to stress to you all is that we don't have pre-treatment capabilities. We don't have the equipment to spread any pre-treatment liquid. We also, as we indicated, we utilized about 100 tons of sand and salt mix in this event. We had used 70 tons in the snow that came around Christmas time, and if you'll recall, in November, we had another snow event, used another about 70 tons. We started the year with our storage facility full. We have 3 bins that each store 150 tons of sand, salt, or sand and salt mix. So we have a capability of about 450 tons. And so we've utilized a significant amount of that. We have filled those as we can. We made a call yesterday morning for more. We work with a group out of Hutchinson. We have a local group that's supplied through Hutchinson, the salt mines down there. They have indicated they brought up a truckload. We had indicated we needed 150 tons, and they were able to bring us a truckload, and have indicated that MoDOT and KDOT basically have spoken for the bulk of their sand and salt. As we work our way through the season, and as we get into the spring, when Chuck started, we had a discussion that one of the primary things that I wanted to do is to take a look at staffing, take a look at our response with regard to snow and ice removal, and we will be reviewing the snow removal policy, looking at some things that we might be able to change, and any recommendations that he has in light of priorities that the board might have in terms of budget as well. So we will attack these as we are able to the best of our ability with the resources that we have. Really continue to request folks to use the report of concern line. If there are concerns, call that number. Again, that is 532-2080 with any concerns, and we'll review that again in the spring. Did the board have any questions? Yeah.
Yes, I do. How we would look at is additional storage, because we have taken on several more miles of road.
That's one of the things as we bring something forward, there are a lot of things we'd like to look at, and one might be storage for sand and salt, because as we had the conversation with that one, we purchased salt last summer, had our stores full, and it is easier to get salt in June, July, August, even September than it is in November, December, January, because those are spoken for. Alan also indicated, I don't know if you all had heard, it did have an impact on salt, not what our availability was, but there was an earthquake in southeastern Kansas, and southwestern Kansas, excuse me, and Hutchinson was affected with that, and at that point in time, I didn't know how it was going to affect the mine, but there are all kinds of things that can come into play there. Yes, a storage facility, we may want to look at, one of the things Chuck may want to look at is if we would make a recommendation with regard to vehicles for pre-treatment that would help that process. I've asked him to take a look at our staffing in all the departments in Public Works, and if we have 6 people who are trained right now for snow removal, so we could increase that by current staffing and look at those, a number of areas to look at as we continue to review that process, to have those recommendations to bring forward. Other questions? Okay.
Hey,
Amory, actually, the guardrail is being installed today. The road will not be able to be open until the guardrail is in. Weather is not helping us right now. There's one portion that does still need to have concrete poured, but they hope to be able to get to that this week and should have minimal impact on the availability of the road. We are hopeful that by the end of this week, we will have it open. One of the things we need to make sure is that we get it, as that's been under construction, it's not been cleared. So Chuck was out there this afternoon, it's kind of icy, so we're gonna have to work through that as well. So we're working against weather now. Anything else on Amory?
I guess we'll finish up in the spring.
Yes, the final lift will be in the spring. I included information in my staff report about a MoDOT meeting last week on 188th Street and 169 Highway intersection. Good attendance from the public and good information. I also highlight in the staff report that there's a significant amount of information about both that project and the planned Highway 92 improvements that MoDOT's planning, and actually will be in the 2021 fiscal year on the MoDOT website. I'm going to encourage people to look at that website. And one of the things last week, we were able to introduce Chuck to the area engineer and several of the MoDOT staff. One of the things they stressed, similar to our comment of driving people to our reported concern site, if people have concerns with MoDOT roadways, we highly encourage them to go to the MoDOT website and report those concerns because those are directly reported. And MoDOT actually does also, they indicated, they kind of randomly follow up with, I think, can they say like 200 responses? There's kind of a random approach to response of, hey, how did we do kind of customer service? So we highly encourage people. We're happy to submit that information, but if it comes from that person, they can actually be contacted if there are questions or concerns. This morning, Nikki and I attended the American Regional Council Total Transportation Committee meeting. We were asked to present information as to what's occurring currently in Smithville, really focusing on our strategic planning and the comp plan process. So we were able to get the good things that are going on here in Smithville in front of that group. We also were able to hear their plan for their transportation committee review and financing over the coming months. Chuck will be attending those meetings for us on a going forward basis, so we'll have a presence at that table as funding discussions occur with regard to transportation funding in the Kansas City region. Finally, I noted in the report, the MML Westgate dinner is Thursday, January 23rd in Sugar Creek. Please respond to Linda if you'd like to attend. That is my report.
thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for Ms. Wagner? Alderman Shelley?
About the 188th Street highway intersection thing, I guess that I've been getting some concerns just with the detour is going to be. And one of the things that I guess I'm asking for is, can we increase like police presence maybe in that area while this is happening?
There are a number of ways to look at I think as we get closer to that construction, there will be conversations we'll be having with you all with some options of being able to look at that. The detour that the state has outlined is on state routes, so it takes people all the way over W to C down to 92. So it's a significant detour. Locals know that there are other ways around that. And so there are some things that we can look at with regard to increased enforcement and maybe looking at some ordinances with regard to prohibitions of certain traffic in that area. Those are things that we need to look at and we'll information with the board. That project is slated to bid September of this year with construction to be completed by next Memorial Day. So not exactly sure of that time frame. One of the things that we did discuss with MoDOT officials is we have a pretty significant water line under 169 at that intersection. So in the coming weeks, you will see an authorization to HDR to design relocation of that line. And we are hopeful that then we'll be able to get that included as part of MoDOT's bid, and they can do that as part of, we would fund it, but it would be bid and managed through that project as opposed to us having to do it. So we continue those discussions.
All right. Moving on to item number 7 on the agenda.
Motion to approve bill number 2852-20, changes and additions to marijuana ordinance for second reading.
Thank you. On the printed agenda, it says 19 still. Just 20, right?
It's 20,
Because on this one, it's 20. So.
yeah.
All right, go second, Alderman Schindler.
Second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor, I'm sorry, clerk, please call roll.
Alderwoman Wilson.
Aye.
Alderman Farmer.
Aye.
Alderman Atkins.
Aye.
Alderman Holbert.
Aye.
Alderman Chevalier.
Aye.
Alderman Blunker.
Aye.
6-0.
Motion carries by motion.
Ordinance of the City of Smithville repealing Section 205.1800 and Section 205.1810 and enacting in their place new Sections 205.1800 and 205.1810, as well as Sections 205.1801, 205.1802, 205.1803, and 205.1804 regarding the possession and/or use of marijuana.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is number 8. Bill number 2853-20. Alderman Holbert.
I move to approve bill number 2853-20, amending various sections of the municipal code.
Thank you. Do you have a second? Alderwoman Wilson.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Clerk, please call roll.
Alderman Holbert.
Aye.
Alderman Chevalier.
Aye.
Alderman Blunker. Alderwoman Wilson.
Aye.
Alderman Farmer.
Aye.
Alderman Atkins.
Aye.
6-0.
Thank you. Motion carries. Ms. Wagner, please read the bill.
An ordinance adopting and enacting a new code of ordinances of the City of Smithville, County of Clay, State of Missouri, establishing the same, providing for the repeal of certain ordinances not included therein, except as herein expressly provided, providing for the manner of amending such code of ordinances, providing penalty for the violation thereof, and providing when this ordinance shall become effective.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is number 9. Alderwoman Wilson.
I move to approve Resolution 764, Crime Stoppers Tips Hotline Program.
Thank you. Alderman Sarver.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution 764, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is number 10. Alderman Blunker.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve Resolution 765, amendment to the compensation plan.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Alderman Atkins.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution 765, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Next item is number 11. Is Mr. Parr here today?
I don't believe so.
I think it said that they were going to be out of town.
Oh,
That was the McGuire's.
No, the parts are too.
Oh, the bars are too. Thank you.
Okay.
I forgot. The McGuire's weren't going to be able to be here. Thank you.
okay. Alderman Holbert, did you have your hand?
Yeah, I move to approve resolution 766.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Alderman Atkins.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussions or questions on this one? All those in favor of approving resolution 766, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is 767. Alderman Sarver.
Motion to approve Resolution 767, general release and settlement agreement.
Thank you. Have a second? Alderman Chevalier.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution 767, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Before we get to public comment, do we need to announce candidates, or can we do that at the next meeting?
We can do it next meeting.
Okay,
I haven't certified on that.
okay. Didn't know.
It is closed, though.
Yeah, filing's closed.
It is closed.
Awesome. All right, public comment. had one public comment card, is that it? Shane, Jack, Sean. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to address the board.
My name's Sean Jack, I live at 802 East Summit Street, Smithville. I got a question. Who owns the Smithville Senior Center? Is that owned by the city or is that owned by a private group?
The senior center is owned by the city, at least to the
Senior citizens. group.
senior
Who's in
citizens
charge of-
nonprofit group. Correct. Yep.
Who's in charge of snow removal on that property?
City staff, takes care of the sidewalks. But we-
I was out there my wife rented that for a baby shower on the 11th, which was a Saturday. That Saturday or Friday night started snowing, Saturday snowed. I was out there for 3.5 hours with my own snow blower, my own shoveling that, and getting it where it was safe for people to walk into that building for the baby shower. We had it rented for probably 3 or 4 weeks prior to that. Came and baby shower, older people coming in. I had 2 people, after I got done, I had to come over to the police department and ask them to borrow some ice melt, be able to throw it out because people were sliding all over there, and I had 2 people fall that came up to that shower. So, I mean,
If you and I can talk and we can discuss that, that's a situation that we need to have.
it's the same thing every time we go to discuss, nothing ever gets resolved. Later on that day, I seen the staff out here. Sure enough, City Hall, just from right, I mean, you can go look at it now, right in front of City Hall, all that's nice and cleared and treated, but anything further down the road towards the center, not touched.
If we could have a conversation about that, I can touch base with you on that. Yeah, absolutely, that's an area that we need to look at.
Thank you. Any new business? All right. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Alderman Holder?
I move to adjourn.
Do I have a second? Alderman Wilson?
Second.
All those in favor of adjourning say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. Stand adjourned.